Sound on, transition, and hello everyone. How are you doing, Mama?
I'm doing all right. How are you this evening?
Alright. I see we've got Chip Sounder in chat. How are you doing, Chip Sounder? Let's see. Do I have anything to share? I don't think so. I need to start coming up with things to share. Yeah, I guess one thing to talk about is the weather. It got really cold, into like negative Fahrenheit degrees
Yep.
recently. It snowed a little bit. A friend of mine said that they got like a foot and a half of snow, but they are in a different state than I am. We got around 4 or 5 inches of snow,
Yeah,
which
then
is a
you got
lot,
about what
but
we did.
yeah, it's a decent amount of snow, but I mean, it's already starting to go away, I think. And it should definitely go away by Thursday. I believe that is when the temperatures are supposed to go up to the 50s and then some
Yeah,
rain. So that's
yeah.
quite
50
pleasant.
high during that day, and then that overnight is 16.
Mm-hmm. It's ridiculous the weather that we get, but it happens. Yeah. All right. Aside from the weather, um, I guess I don't really have much else. Um, so anything that you want to share, Mama?
Nope, I don't have anything.
In that case, it's time for our first puzzle, and that is going to be Two S'morios for You by Chip Sounder. Normal 6x6 Sudoku rules apply. Place the digits 1 through 6 once each in every row, column, and 2x3 box. Oreos have a 1 to 2 ratio, and marshmallows are consecutive. Clues outside the grid show the sum of the indicated diagonal. Digits may repeat. Um,
Okay.
Two more Oreos for you. Boom. I think I spelled that the same way that was titled.
Looks like it.
Alright. In that case, link in the chat if you'd like to give it a go. Let's go ahead and get started ourselves. Well, in this one, if we've got only the digits 1 through 6, that takes out all of the digits, that allows for all of the digits except for 5. 5 is odd, so it can't be halved. It can only be doubled, but it would double to 10, which is greater than 6, which is the only other possible option. Or excuse me, 6 is the highest in a 6x6 Sudoku puzzle. That means the 5 has to go here, with either 4 or 6 next to it. However, I have to use a 2 on one of these, with it being either 1, 2, or 2, 4. The other one must be 3, 6. So that is going to remove 6 as a possibility, and then 4 is going to get removed. And then I'm just going to leave it at these. So this must be a
Well,
1,
if you look
2.
at the column 4,
Mm-hmm.
got 2 Oreos with the marshmallow in the middle there.
Yeah.
So 6 can't be on the inside there. That would have to be a 2-3 pair, at least on the top.
You're saying it has to go like this?
Well, no, because it could be a 4 underneath it. If you consider what could be on the black Kropkies, on the Oreos. The top can't have 4 in it.
Right.
Okay. You can't have 6 in the bottom
Right.
or on the other side of the marshmallow.
Now, if this was a 2, excuse me, if this was a 1, then that would be a 2, but then so would that, and that would have to be a 1. So this can't be a 1. So now this can't be a 1, so that can't be a 2. 3 is going to be a requirement. But we already knew we were going to have to use that.
Well, and it's going to be the same more or less with the one in column 2.
Yeah. So 1, 6. Well, not necessarily. Hold on. So we know it's all of the digits except for 5, and then we're going to have 1, 4, 5 up here. Neither of those can be 2, so this must be 3, 6. So then this is 1, 2, 4.
It can't be 1 on the top.
Right, because 1 would
And it
have to
can't
connect
be
to
6
2.
on the top of the marshmallow.
Right. 4, 5, and 1. Well, 2 has to be one of these two, so this can't be a 1. 4, 5, 6. But it can't be 4 or
Can't be
5.
right.
Okay.
In box 5,
Yeah,
the 1 has to be on the bottom.
removing the 1 is a possibility here, because the 1 was out of those. That couldn't have a 1 on it, because it'd have to have 2 on both sides, and then that couldn't be. So yeah,
So now that 4-5 pair does work. Two can be placed in row 1.
this has to be 4 or 5, which is going to make that 2, 1, 2. One, 3, 6. 5, 6. Alright, now our diagonal has to be 28.
Well, that first cell is a 3 or a 6.
Right. Okay, anyway. This diagonal has to be 28. 6 and 2 are already 8, so that leaves 20. A 6, another 6 is 12, and 2 5s are 10, so 2 degrees of freedom, meaning I can't remove 3 from either of these 6s. Because if I did, if I turned this 6 into a 3, then I would go from 22 to 19, which is below my target. So those both have to be 6. And now both of these, I've got 20, because 3
Yeah.
6s are 18, and 2 more is
So it's a
20.
pair of 4s.
5, 5, 4. There we go. Some peanut butter with s'mores and Oreos would be pretty good. Does sound like a good combination. Alright. Puzzle number 2. Evenly shared s'moreos. Spell that right. Alright, link in the chat if you'd like to give it a go. Evenly shared s'moreos by Chip Sounder. Normal Sudoku rules apply. Place the digits 1 through 9, once each in every row column and 3x3 box. Oreos have a 1 to 2 ratio, they're black dots. Marshmallows are consecutive, they're white dots. Cells with a highlighted gray square has an even digit, and cells separated by an X sum to 10. Evenly shared s'moreos. Now, I guess I should look at all of the black dots here. In a 9x9 puzzle, I do 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 doubles to 2, doubles to 4, which can also double to 8. And 3 doubles to 6. 5 would double to 10, and 7 to 14, and 9 to 18, none of which I can use in puzzle. Okay. So now, I've got some
On all the
stuff
white
that's
dots,
sandwiched.
the 6/8 have to go away.
Right. Because their neighbors are too far apart.
There's one in row 1, row 9, and column 9. And in row 5.
Alright. Now also on these white
row
property
9
dots.
and row 1 have everything except the 5, 7, and 9. Because actually columns 1 and 9 do too if you skip over the even square.
Highlight those just to remind myself that those are there. Now I want to look at this group of 4 here. These two, since they're in the centers, cannot be 1, because you have to have 2 on both sides. Which means 3 is going to be a requirement here. But then 3 on the black property dot is going to have to pair with a 6. So I can't use a 3 on this one. But the same thing here was true down here. I can't use a 1. So a 3 is going to be a requirement, which is going to pair with a 6. So then 3 and 6 are removed. 3 and 6 is removed. The same thing that was happening here is going to happen here. neither of these can be 1, because then on both sides you'd have to have a 2. 3 becomes a requirement. But then this one can't be 3, because there's no 6 there. So 3, 6, 3 again. Follows down to here. Can't have a 3 because there's no 6. These two can't be 1s. This becomes the 3, paired with the 6. And these can be 6. This isn't a 3. That isn't a 3. Those aren't 3s. 6 is gone. 3 is no longer an option. 3 and 6. Okay. Hmm. 2, 4, 8. 2, 4, 8. 6. This one can't be 1, that one can't be a 1, this one's 2, 4, 8. Six pair from that one. That means that this one's a 1, or that one's a 1. But if this one was a 1, that would be a 2, and that couldn't be. If this was the 1, then that would be a 2, and this one still couldn't be. So 2's gone. And I think the same thing is going to happen. No. Yeah, everything's too far away. That's not going to work for anything else. Just this one. 3, 5, 7, 9. Not a 3. But it does become 5, 7, 9, so I'm going to highlight it in green. Now these two cannot both be 5, 7, 9 because they're a white marshmallow. So that's going to end up being placed over here, 5, 7, 9. Because I don't have any other places for 5, 7, or 9 to go in this row. And now these two can't be 5, 7, or 9. But we don't know which side this one is. But if I know I have to have a 5, 7, or 9 on here, then the 1 here is where it's going to have to go. So this has to be 1, 2. Does that seem right? So 5, 7, 9 paired with 4, 6, or 8. Now this one can't be 4 or 8, so it ends up being the 7 or 9. Okay. 3, 5, 7, 9. It can't be a 3, so it's 3. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. Three's not an option. It can still be a 1, though. Four, 8 pairs going to remove 4 as an option from this spot.
The X in column 4, I guess that's the only place 4 and X, can't be 4, 6, or 2, 8.
Because if it was 2, 8, then these would all be
Would
1 and
be
4s.
1 and 4.
Okay, now this one could not be a 1 because both of its neighbors would then be 2. But this one can be a 1 because both of its neighbors can be a 2 without conflicting. This can't be 8 because its neighbor couldn't be a 4. This can't be 3, its neighbor couldn't be 6. It can't be 2 because 1 and 4 aren't options. 1 pairs with 2, 4 pairs with 2, 6 pairs with 3. And then going farther, 2 pairs with 1, but not 3. So this couldn't be a 1, because then this would be a 2, but then its only neighbor would be a 1 again.
Right.
But this one can go 1, 2. 1 is consecutive with 2, and 2 doubles to 4.
Row 6. Look where 5, 7, and 9s can go.
One here, one there, one of those 2 in there.
Oh, yeah.
But I just noticed that we've got a 6 in row 6, a 6 in row 4, so I still need 1 in row 5, but the only
Right.
place it can go is the center because it can never go on an X, and it can't go on a black crop behind. Excuse me, I'm talking about 6s. I just was talking about 5s. I don't know where my brain went for a second. So let me start over. The 2 6s means I have to have a 6 in one of these. This 6 and this 6 cancel it from those, forcing it there. That was the easiest way of going about it. Ignore the X's and the black crappie dot. I don't know what my brain was doing. 3 goes to 2 or 4.
And that 1, 9 on the X helps a little bit.
2, 4, and 8. Places a 1, places a 2, places a 4, 8. 2 and 1. 2's are gone from both of these. 3, 5, 7, 9. I guess this is also 3, 5, 7, 9.
But not 9 because of the 1, 9 pair.
Right. And 3, 5, 7, 9. 1, 9 takes out the 9, and the 3 in both the box and row take out.
Right.
3.
And that green 5, 7, 9 above that, please, yeah.
Now 5 or 7 can be green. So these have to be 1, 2, 4, and 8. This one sees 1, 4, and 8, so it's a 2. And this not being 2 means this can't be 1.
Oh, and that last one in box 5 is 5 or 7.
And then I think these two have to be 5, 7, 9 to finish
Yeah.
out the column, because none of those, neither of these two, and not this. So that's that.
Replaces
This has
the
to be 3.
3.
Of course, also there are 4 3s already looking in this box, so that just helps confirm that.
Oh, it looks like box 4 still needs a 3. Should be the last 3.
Okay, if I'm looking in the last 3 columns, I already have my 3, 5, 7, 9s in column 9. And so if I look in box 6 and I want to know where the last 5, 7, 9 can be, it can't be on the left black crop dot, the top black crop dot, and it can't be even. So the last one has to be one of these two. What does that mean for the 5, 7, 9 in box 9? Well, it's not on the bottom here. And so we just ruled it out of the middle column, and we already know it's one of those two. We ruled out of the middle column because the last one in box 6 had to be in the middle column, plus the 2 in box 3. So it's down here. This one is already 5, 7, 9, and its consecutive must be even, which cannot be 5, 7, or 9. So this one is 5, 7, or 9 in green. And the same thing can be done in box 7. And
column 3 needs 2 5 7 9s.
there's only 2 places left for them. I think this has to be, I was going to say it had to be a 6, but it doesn't be that could be 6. You'd think I would know how to place even digits. This one has to be 4, 6, or 8 as well. Jonesy says, "Hey y'all, it's been a few streams. Hope you're doing well. I've been doing well. Hope you've been doing well as well." Oh, if I look in row 6 now, I need to have 3, 5, 7, and 9s. Oh, but it could be here. Never mind.
Yes, but you also need a 2 in row 6, and it has to go in box 6, which resolves the 2, 4 that's, yeah. So the 1 goes away below the 4.
6, 8
It's a
pair
2 8
places a
pair.
2. Four was only connected to 5, so this has to be 8. Six, not consecutive with 9. Alright, looks like a lot of this is just falling into place.
Eight. 1, 8.
There we
Yeah.
go. It is really nice once the puzzles just sort of finish. Once you've gotten to that spot and it's just cleanup. Yeah, there's another nice one. Let's go on to puzzle number 3 for today. The Knights Smorios. Alright. The Knights Smorios by Chip Sounder. Normal 6x6 Sudoku rules apply. Place the digits 1 through 6 in every row column and 2x3 box. Cells separated by a knight's move in chess cannot contain the same digit. Oreos have a 1 to 2 ratio, they're the black dots, and marshmallows are consecutive, they're white dots. Alright, let's get started. Well, we learned in the first puzzle that we did that this was an interesting pattern. The black crappy dot is everything but 5. Because 5 can't be halved, and if you double it, it becomes greater than 10, which is way greater than the maximum 6 in this puzzle. And another way of thinking about it is 1 doubles to 2, 2 doubles to 4, and 3 doubles to 6. You can't double 4 because then you'll get 8, which is greater than 6. And that's true of 5 and 6 as well. So double to something greater than 6. Now, the ones in the middle can't be a 1, because if they were, you would end up with an issue. The outsides are going to have to be 1, 4, and 5. Because the 1, 2, and 4 are all connected. So I can't do a 1, 2, and a 2, 4 together. So it's going to have to be 1, 2, and 3, 6, or 2, 4, and 3, 6 as the 2 Oreos. Now the same thing is going to be true over here. These two are 1, 4, 5. You get 2, 3, and 4, 6 in the middle, and then everything but 5 as the ends. But these two could both be 2. I just have to have the 2's on, well, it's going to have to be on the inside, like this. So I couldn't do a 2 here and a 2 there, because a 1 and a 4 aren't consecutive. They could both have a 2. Do a 2 here, 1, 2, 4, and so that would be 1 and 2, and that makes that 5. Alright, but the important thing for this puzzle is that the anti-knight rule. So if I'm going to mark this one just for funsies, where can it go in this box? Well, with Sudoku it can't go here, and then anti-knight it's neither of those two. And then it would have to be one of those two.
Well, a 6 can't go on the marshmallow. Column 2.
Right. 6 gets removed. And that was the 3. That was the bit that I forgot. It makes that a little bit better. Here, it looks like those two. That one's ruled out. And then I guess I want to look at this one, because it's going to have a very similar pattern. Just sort of backwards. Now we know that one of these two is a 3. And it's going to have to go over here as well. Three, four, six. The one on the right cannot be a 3. So the one on the left cannot be a 6.
Well, the one in box 1 is more interesting than that one.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4.
And you can't have 1 in the corner because it would be 2's. Yeah.
Perhaps it might be better to look at this one. Actually, hold on. If we look at this one, now it could be red, it might not be, who knows. But where can it go in this box? Sudoku says it's not there and not there. Now, consecutive, and then here. These could be 2 2s. But they could not be a pair of 3s or a pair of 4s. That's one of those two. That one.
Well, we know green cannot be blue.
Yeah.
But it could be red.
Yeah. I guess I want to take red out for a second. No, because those aren't required to be different. Just because this one sees those two doesn't mean this one sees that one in any way, shape, or form. Because this could be a 4 and be there.
Ah, but that one cannot be red but red could be green.
Yeah. That's the problem. Is there something else that I should be looking at when trying to paint the puzzle? These are the wrong distance apart in order to make conclusions about Sudoku or the anti-knight rules. Okay. This cell right here sees both of these, both of those, and that one. If this was a 2, a 3, or a 4, what would that mean? Actually, both of these see all of those. Got red and blue. You could have that. if either of the purple squares were 2, 3, or 4. Something else is important. One of these two is 5. And this one has to be one of those two. And this one of those two. And then these two have a similar property as far as this goes. Purple is one of those two, orange is one of these two, and then we have red and blue. Black has to be one of these two. And then blue has to be one of these two. So then this would be red and purple, I think. Because blue can't be in any of these 4. And neither can black. So that has to be a blue-black pair. Okay, so blue is one of those two.
I like that screen.
Yep, sure is. Now red can't be either of those two, so red is down there. So I need to know about orange and gray. Gray can't be either of these two because it would see both of those. So then we get gray, and therefore orange. And then we get blue, orange, and purple, red, gray, and black. Red, orange, and black, blue, purple, gray, blue, black, gray, red, purple, orange. Now, orange is ruled out of that one. Red from here, blue from here, gray from this one. This one is black, and this one is purple. Okay. This one can't be black because it would rule out all of those. This one can't be purple, it would rule out all of those. This one can't be purple, it would rule out both of those. This one can't be black, it would rule out both of those. And then somehow black has to be this one. Purple. Orange is ruled out of this one because it would see both of those, and now it's red. And those have to be that way. This one can't be gray, we rule out both of those, so it's blue. Red. Five, 1, 2, 4, 6.
Box 4 to the right of the blue.
Okay. Red doubles to orange. And blue doubles to pink. But I don't know if that has to be that way. Okay, but what is the relationship between pink and orange? If this was a 6, that couldn't be a 3. But wait, we know one of these two is a 6. And this here,
The only one that could be the 6 is the purple.
right. But then this doesn't have to be 3, 6. You could have an orange 6 and put it here.
Right.
But if we know that one of these two is 6, we know the other is not 3. So this could not be purple and orange. So if this isn't orange, it's blue. Blue, black, black, orange. One is gone. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Black has to be 1, 4, 5, so 2 and 6 gets removed here. And now this is 1, 4. These two cannot be 5. Orange started off as 1, 2,
Well,
4,
now gray
6.
is 5. Column 2.
5. So these two are gray. This isn't gray. This one isn't red. So this one isn't purple. And now we know red is 2, 3, 4. Oh, and orange isn't 6, so purple is. Blue must be 3. And now red can't be 4, it must be 2. Well, this can't be blue. It must be black.
Well, you might as well get all your purples as 6.
6, 4, 2. Black has to be 1, and orange is 4. First try. Was there an easier way to get that these two had to be not those two? Because I feel like The puzzle could have been colored from the start. I mean, I probably chose an interesting coloring path by selecting this column. Because Chip Sounder says the puzzle could have been colored from the start.
Right.
So there was probably something I missed for something else in relationship to these two, or before looking at the fact that those two and how they were related to these two. But I'd have to go back and see where I got messed up, or maybe not got messed up, but could have made changes. But that was a good puzzle, and we'll move on to the last Smorio. Right. Link in the chat if you'd like to give it a go. The Last Smorio by Chip Sounder. Normal Sudoku rules apply. Place the digits 1 through 9, once each in every row column and 3x3 box. Oreos have a 1 to 2 ratio, black dot. Marshmallows are consecutive, white dot. Cells separated by an X, summed to 10, and clues outside the grid. Sum the digits in the indicated diagonal. Digits may repeat. Let's see. Well, if we look at all of the black dots, one doubles to 2, 2 doubles to 4, 3 doubles to 6, 4 doubles to 8, 5 doubles to 10. 5 cannot be used then. 7 and 9 are similarly not allowed because 7 doubles to 14 and 9 to 18. But everything after 5 can be disregarded as far as doubling. So now we've got a few sets of 3. We saw that 1 doubled to 2, doubled to 4, doubled to 8, but that didn't include the 3-6 pair. Why am I hearing my own voice? Doesn't matter. But that didn't include the 3-6 pair. 1 to 2 to 4 to 8 doesn't include 3-6, because 3 doubles to 6 and that's it. So I can't have 3-6 and then something else to go along with them. The centers of all of those cannot be 1 or 8, because 1 doubles to 2, you can't have 2 2s, and 8 halves to 4, you can't have 2 4s. But that 2-4 pair is going to remove 2 and 4 as options from those two, which their Oreo partner is going to remove 1 and 8 from. Because 1 would have to go to 2, and 8 would have to go to 4, which we just removed from their partners. And yeah, so now this marshmallow, 6 and 8 aren't options. This one's odd, so this one must be even. And 1 doubles to 2, 3 doubles to 6. 2 and 4 mean we have to go with the 1, 2, 4, 8 grouping. And I have 1, 2, 4, and 8, so this must be 3 and 6. Now the other thing down here is that I have to use 2 or 4, and that's true for all of the 3s, but that's most useful for this one because this one cannot be 2 or 4. This has to be 7 or 9, because it sees 1, 2, 4, and 8, as well as 3 and 6. And that's actually true of all 3 of these in this row. And I'm going to highlight those in green, similarly to how I did it in a previous puzzle. Now this is on an X, so it can't be a 5. 7 and 9 pair with 3 and 1, which are actually pretty limited in what they could be on the Oreo pair here.
Well, the
1,
X
2, 4,
in
8.
box 5 is 1, 9, because it can't be 2, 8, 3, 7, or 4, 6. Ah, in row 9, the Oreos in the middle, the right one can't be an 8, because it would be 8, 4, and then it can't go at anything but another 8.
And the 1 here should have forced a 4 in the middle and then 2 and 8 on both sides.
Right, and that resolves the one in row 1.
2 and 1. 9 and 1. This 10
It's 3, 7.
goes 4, 6, and 2, 8.
1, 2 pair.
Right. Cross this way. Which
Leaves
means,
5 and 9 in row 4.
because one of these is going to be a 1, and then a 2, and then it's going to have to be a 4, 8. Right?
Right.
So these can't be 1s.
Five, 6, 7, 8.
This one isn't a 5. This one isn't a 7.
Well, if you want to do the same thing on 1, 3, 6, 9. Where
9's
3's
are out
not
of
in
this
box
one.
4 and 9's not in box 6. Yeah.
The 10s in these two, you can't use a 5. And then, but the 3 dots, or the set of 3 here with the 2 Oreos,
Right.
2 and
2
4
and
are
4.
requirements. So 2, 8, and 4, 6. The 1 here takes out 1 and its partner 9. Oh, and then this is actually going to copy down to here. So I have what? 1, 5, and 8.
Not 1. Just 5 and 8, yeah.
Or no, it can't be
Well,
5 and
5
8
and 6.
because
5 and 6.
this has to go 2, 4, and 8. And 1, 2, and 4. Six are no longer an option this way.
Well, look at the X's in rows 2 and 3.
1, 2, 4 removes 9, which was already not an option. 8 and 6.
Well, and you can't have a 9 on the left, so you can't have 1 on the right.
Now 3 isn't an option, so 7 isn't an option, and now suddenly that has to be 6 or 8. 5, 7, 9, and 3? 2, 4, doesn't matter. Okay. This and this. This 10 looks at this, and they have to be from 1, 3, 7, 9, so they have to be different. So this one sees both of them, and so it cannot be 1 or 3. So 6 is no longer an option. I think that was it. Because removing 1 doesn't remove 2 from the other side. What can this marshmallow be? Well, it has to have an even digit on it, and that even digit has to be 6 or 8. So then the odds would surround that even digit, 5, 7, or 9. Now, it cannot be a 5 paired with a 6 because of the 5, 6 over here. We have a similar thing happening over here. 5, 6, 7, 8, because this 2, 4 did the same thing down here that it did for this, and this 5, 6, 5, 6 does the same thing here as well. Now these two are 3, 5, 7, 9, and a missing 6.
Three, 5, 7.
So we can't have a 3 as one of those two, which I should have known because it had to be one of those two. Oh. The 1, 3, 7, 9 hits this one as well. This can't be 7 or 9, so this can't be 6 or 8. Alright, these 4. 5, 6, 8, 9. This one, not an 8.
Oh, column 8, the 2, 4, because there's a 2, 4 in box 3, there's a 2, 4 in box 6. So 2, 4 has to be, and there's a 2, 4 in row 9. So that's a 2, 4 on the black dot.
Can we do something similar over here? 2, 4, and 2, 4. Now, we know 2, 4 has to go in this box, but you could split them between the white
Right.
marshmallow and the black Oreo.
Because it could be 4, 5, or 1, 2. And 4, 8 over there.
Now these two, and also these two, cannot have 6 be the smallest number. Because if this was a 6, it would have to pair with a 7, which would break the 6, 7 here. Same thing there. And since we already eliminated 5 as an option, that makes this an 8. 8 is one of these, along with the 7, 9 that had to be one of those two. So 7, 9, 2, and 4, and 8. And I don't have a 1, so now the only place the 1 can go is here. So this is 1 and 9, 7 and 8, 3, 5, and 6 going across. It's going to give me 7 and 3. Don't know if I need the 5, 7, 9s. But 3, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 8's no longer an option. 8, 9 isn't an option there. 2 must be on one of these. 8, 9, 7, 3, 2's no longer an option. 1 would have to pair with 2, 4, 5, and 6. And that's going to have to be 4, 5. So this is 6. 6 is gone from all of those. An 8 of 5.
Pair.
2 pairs with 1. 4
Pairs
and
with 9
2.
across the X.
That's true. 5, 9. 5's gone from those. 9, 3, 7 pair, which that 1, 9 resolved a while ago. This way. And is this just falling into place now? Not quite. Still have a little bit of work to do. 8, 2, 1, 5, and 9 are all removed. This isn't a 4, that isn't a 4, so this one is because we get 3, 6, and 7. 4 is not consecutive, 6 or 7, so that's a 3. 7, 3, 6, and 7. 3 is gone from there, so 5, 6, and 7 like that. So that's 3, 7, 3, 6, not 6. 5, 7 makes that a 6. 5 up here. 3, 6. 1, 3. Almost done. That's not concerning because we've got this diagonal right here. 5 and 1. And now what is this diagonal right here? 33 to 37, so we're going to have to use a pair of 7s and a pair of 5s. And we have done it. That's the end of the Smorio set. Well done. Then
Oreos are really good with freshly, perfectly toasted marshmallow.
Yeah.
And yes, the little dollop of peanut butter is good in that too.
I was trying to think about with the solve on here how the Oreos in here played really well with what was going on, especially this set here. But I don't know, it just flowed really well. Anyway, and moving on to what might be our last puzzle for today. It is called Hailstorm. This one has a fancy setting in the URL. Hailstorm by Michael Lefkowitz. Normal 6x6 Sudoku rules apply. Values increase along the gray line from the bulb, and values outside the grid are the sum of the indicated diagonal. We've got an interesting thing going on here with the thermal. I should not highlight these, just for funsies. And what we know, I should put green in the middle here. Let's try gray.
Well, orange is minimum 7.
Is minimum 7.
Blue is minimum 8.
How's this getting 52? 11 and 11 is 22, plus a pair of 6s is 12. Because it's you trying to sum with
9.
9s. Okay, so yeah, because the maximum here is 17. The maximum here, well, that's going to have to be a maximum of 16. Okay, but we already said this was a minimum of 8. Minimum 7, minimum 8. So the minimum here is 9. It's going to be 9 to 15. Okay. 9 to 15. 8 to 14. 7 to 13. Okay. Small problem though. If I max this 16, how do I do that without touching the 5 6s here? Because this would be a 4. This one could be a 5 or a 6. And this could be a 5, 4. So that would be 9 plus 4 is 13. And another 5. That would be fine, I guess. I guess the other thing to think about is the fact that this is 21, this is another 21, and this one is almost 21. And then I've got some extras. Seven to 13. Okay, well, if I max this, just for funsies, that would be 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17. Which would be, what, 30, 60, 75? And I've got, what, 126 in the puzzle? 26 minus 75 is 51. The bottom left is 21, so I'd have to make 30 in the remainder.
That's doable.
Minus 4, 5, excuse me. Minus, yeah. Minus 15, minus 6. And I still have 6 degrees of freedom. Although I just put 15 up here, but that's a 5-6 pair.
Right. If that's 17, yeah. In order to max it.
So I'd have 30. And up there, 5, 6, minus 4, minus 3, minus 2. Minus 6, minus 5, minus 4. Minus 6. If I made this 13, then the maximum I put in here, the maximum I put in here, and the maximum I put in here would force the puzzle. So I think I have to do that, don't I? Because if I made this any smaller, then I would have to make this bigger, but I already made it maximum size. And the only way to make it larger would be to make this whole thing small enough that I could take the I think the 2, because I had 30 left over, 15 from box 3, and 6 from box 6, leaving 9, which is 2, 3, and 4, because 5 and 6 have to be used in red. I would have to take out, I'd have to make all of this smaller. If I made it all smaller by 1, then that gives me an extra 5. Which I could turn the 3 into a 6, which takes a 3, the 4 into a 5, and the 2 into a 3. But I have to put all 5 into this one. And it would go from 9 to 14, which I could do as 3, 5, and 6. I have to do as 3, 5, and 6. But that was again still the maximum that I could put in these. But I could also make all of this the problem is the 6 degrees of freedom. Because the maximum that I can put in here is 75. And 126 minus 75 is 51. And which means I need to put 51 in the remaining cells. So that was the maximum in this group. So then I ask what the minimum in the other group is. No, because the maximum tells me the minimum that these others can be. So the minimum from this, all of this, is 51. Take out this, the minimum from there is 30. And their maximum is 36. Which means I have 6 degrees of freedom to play with in this group. which I could make this 7. Except if I tried to make it 7, this was already maxed, just because that's 17. And the way that that would force this one to work. So if this was 13 through 17, I'd have to make this 9, because of the 5, 6 here. But I could reduce this by 1, thereby reducing everything by 1, and suddenly this hops up to 14 without issue. Except this would just be reduced by 1. Which means I would still have to use a 6 in here. And I couldn't do that. I can't avoid a 6 in this corner. And I can't reduce it by 2, so I think this has to be 2 through 4. Five, 6, 1. And this is 5 or 6. Did that seem reasonable, Mama? Because if I max all of this, then this is a 5, 6, and a 6. But if I try to reduce this by 1, then this becomes 16 instead of 17, which would be 4, 5, 6. And, but I would still have to use a 6 in here. But reducing all of this by 1 means that this jumps from 9 to 14. Because this is still maxed, this is still maxed, and that's still maxed. This is the only space where I have room to change anything.
Yeah.
But since this only got shifted by 1, although I guess I could just simply reset everything. Because this is now, 2, 3, 4, 5. I guess it could include a 1. Except now, my 30 here has to be 35. And if I make this 15, and this 6, that's 21. So yeah, I still need to make 14 over here, which I can't do without a 6. And by maxing these, I make this as small as possible. So yeah, so I need to make at least 14 over here, which I can't do without a 6, which is required by making this diagonal 16. So it's not possible to make this 16. So therefore it must be 17. Does that seem right?
Yeah.
Okay, so this one's 17. So then I ask the question, Well, now this is maximum 9. This is maximum 15. And this is maximum 6. 9 and 6 is 15, and another 15 is 30. And this is 75, which is 105, plus another 21, 126. That's it. That's forced then. I think. Because the only other way... Yeah, because we knew that this was minimum 30. And now... Because that... With maxing these... And the only way to make this to make this larger is to make this bit smaller. And if we make this smaller, that makes everything smaller by at least 1. And then this group would go from being 30 to 35 or 36, which would make this either 14 or 15, which has to use a 5 or has to use a 6. And actually would have to use a 5 as well, and that would break this. That would make this too small. So yeah, this is how it has to be. So now this is 15 and 3, and, well, this would be 4 and 5, which is 9, and a 6, and then that's 16. Okay, this is 1, and a 2, 3 pair.
And in the column is a 4.
Right. And now we need 15 here. This is maximum 4, this is maximum 5, this is maximum 5, 10, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So I need to reduce stuff by 3, because I have 4, 8, 18, so it can be reduced by 3. These are 1, 2, 3.
And actually the top of column 2 cannot be a 4.
Right.
Thermo, you have to go up.
Oh, it has to be a 1. Oh, and that was my 3 steps down. Because now this is 1 and 2, plus 3 is 5, plus 2 more 5s is 15. Okay.
Column 3 is 2 and 4.
Now that diagonal is 11, it needs 3 more. This diagonal is 13, 2 and 3. Apparently 6 and 1 and 5 and 3 and 5 and 6, and we're done. That is ridiculous. How if we were to ignore yellow and red, or Chip Sounder says, another way to see it, if you drop the yellow and red coloring and then study that. So the maximum here is 14 times 3, which would be 42. I see that this 6 and this 6 are the sums of those.
Which would be 2 full.
But yeah, so the maximum I can place here is the minimum that I can place in these. Yeah. So that forces these to be 13, 14, 15, because the minimum possibility here is 42. And if the maximum and minimum makes equilibrium, like Chip Sounder says, then that's what they have to be. Because there is no freedom for one to become smaller, letting the other one become bigger, or the other way around. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that would have been a lot easier than looking at this 17 and its effect with this corner. Yeah, because this isn't necessarily minimized. Although I guess that is minimized.
Yeah.
Because the minimum here is 58. And that's the minimum there in 21. Minimum 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And a 1. So yeah, so that would be minimized there as well. So yeah, so all we had to do was ignore the 17. But I guess or ignore the red. Interesting. Interesting. Alright, we've got 15 minutes left. I think that's more time, or less time than a puzzle would be. So we're going to go ahead and hit the stop button as I'm rethinking how I said that. There's not enough time to do another puzzle, so we're going to stop here. That is how I want to say it. So, with that, let's go to the stream end screen. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that fancy YouTube engagement stuff. If you'd like to see more content on this channel, that will be Sudoku on Wednesday. Hopefully I'll actually be awake this Saturday for Gunfire Reborn. And then we will have Sudoku puzzles on... Actually, I don't know why I was going to say I wasn't going to do it on Monday the 22nd. So we should have both Monday and Tuesday of next week. Because I don't think that should be that. Then more will be the 27th, and then I promise I will be playing more of The Last of Us Part 1 eventually. But yeah, with that, that is all of the things. Make sure to, I already said like, comment, subscribe, YouTube engagement stuff. So then you can ring the notification bell if you want to see the streams or get notified of when I do The Last of Us Part 1 streams. Next year, I think I am going to schedule the single-player games. That way, I actually do them. Because having them be freeform, ended up with a lot of missing streams. So, that is going to be one of the ways that is going to change. But with that, I think that is all the things I have. So, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time.